So today, we're going to talk about humanism, but, not as some abstract, dusty old philosophy. We're going to see what it actually looks like in the real world, through the eyes of two people who live and breathe its principles every single day.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? For a lot of people, all the big moments in life, the weddings, the funerals, you name it, they're wrapped up in tradition. But what if those traditions just don't resonate with you? How do you create something meaningful, something that feels real, when you're not following a religious script? Well, that's exactly what we're getting into today.
And to help us figure this out, we're going to follow the stories of two really interesting people, Hannah Hart and Alan Brine. Their work, and really their whole approach to life, gives us this incredible window into what humanism looks like in practice.
So check this out. We've got two totally different roles here, but they cover the whole spectrum of human experience. On one hand, you've got Hannah. She's a celebrant, helping people mark those big, joyful milestones. Think weddings, baby namings, that kind of stuff. And on the other hand, you have Alan. He's a chaplain in a prison. He's there providing support when life is at its absolute hardest. They're really like two sides of the very same humanist coin.
Okay, so what is this worldview that's driving both of them? Instead of just giving you some dry textbook definition, let's hear how Hannah and Alan describe it themselves. It's way more interesting that way.
So for Hannah, it really boils down to this powerful sense of personal responsibility. The core idea for her is that we get one shot at life. Just this one. And so the meaning we find, the good that we do, it has to happen right here, right now. It's on us to make it a good one. And then you've got Alan's take. He brings in science and reason. Those are the tools he uses to make sense of the world. But notice where he lands. It's the same place as Hannah, this deep, driving desire to make things better for other people. So, different starting points maybe, but they both arrive at this profound commitment to humanity.
All right, so let's see this in action. First up, ceremonies. This is Hannah's world. How in the world do you create a wedding or a funeral that feels deep and significant and personal without any of the religious stuff?
And you might be asking, okay, but why even bother? If you're not religious, why do you need a formal ceremony at all? What's this whole rite of passage thing about?
Hannah's answer here is just so on point. She says this need to mark big moments isn't a religious thing, it's a human thing. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Birthday parties, graduation ceremonies, anniversaries, those are all basically secular rituals we already do. Humanist ceremonies just take that same idea and apply it to all of life's biggest transitions.
Okay, so let's shift gears now, from those moments of celebration to moments of real crisis. This is where Alan's work as a humanist chaplain comes in, offering a lifeline in a place where hope is often in very short supply.
I mean, when most of us hear the word chaplain, we picture a religious figure, right? A priest, a rabbi, an imam. So what does that job even look like when you take religion completely out of the picture? What does a humanist offer?
And the answer is actually really simple and really powerful. It all comes down to basic human connection. Alan says his job is to just be a listening ear, to be genuinely interested in someone's life, and to give them a space where they can share what's on their mind without judgment. It's not about giving divine answers, it's about offering human empathy. And that, he says, can be a huge part of the journey towards rehabilitation. So, we've seen humanism in action at the best of times and the worst of times. But what about, a regular Tuesday? How do these big ideas actually shape the small, everyday decisions we all have to make? This is so fascinating. You can see they're both aiming for the same thing, to live a good, ethical life, but they think about it in slightly different ways. Hannah's approach feels very personal, almost like a version of the golden rule, with a healthy reminder to have fun mixed in. Alan's is a bit more analytical. He's always thinking about the consequences, trying to figure out what actions will create the most happiness for the most people. Two different paths, but they both lead to a really thoughtful, compassionate way of living.
All right, let's pull all this together. We've heard from Hannah, we've heard from Alan. If we had to boil it all down, what's the most important thing to walk away with? What's the core message?
This is pretty much it right here. It's a focus on helping people flourish, on creating happiness, not just for you, but for everyone. It's about using our own empathy, our own experiences, to figure out right from wrong. It's trusting science to help us understand the universe. And maybe the biggest idea of all, it's the belief that you can live a truly good, moral, and deeply meaningful life without any need for gods or supernatural beliefs. So in the end, that brings the question back to you. Forget about labels for a second. The stories of Hannah and Alan really push us to ask ourselves, If this is the one life we get, what really matters? What are the things, the people, the actions that give your life a sense of purpose? What's your source of meaning? That's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for exploring this with me.